the money that I collected is honorable that brought
Destiny
money.
of
Can
Nigeria.
we make a contribution to Nigerian peace?
Me, the
Why you
thing
not
is
doing this thing?
I want all of now look into this believe in Nigeria. We want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
The new Nigeria is
Higher education is telling them it's time to change.
All colors, shades, angles, and perspectives can be overwhelming in our present world of information overload. This is introducing Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a current affairs discussion phone-in program covering topical issues in the polity. The program is a platform for an in-depth analysis of trending issues by professionals, authorities in various fields, analysts, and key actors in the polity. Ground Zero gives the listener an opportunity to contribute to the discussion via phone call, SMS, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. From the conservatively serious to the ridiculously funny, Ground Zero accommodates them all. Professionals, urban contemporary businessmen and women, policymakers, public service workers, students, artisans, traders, and the in-between. Ground Zero comes up on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 4 to 5 p.m. Ground Zero. This program is exclusive to Invicta 98.9 FM. Tune in.
It's another lovely Tuesday evening, and you're tuned to Invicta 98.9 FM. It's time for the Never Dull Moment program on Radio Ground Zero. I am Ehis Admo, and today on the program Ground Zero, we'll be looking at any trending issue in the polity. And I'm sure most of you will agree with me that presently the Pantani Gate, or Pantani must go, or Pantani must stay, is what is trending everywhere. And today on Ground Zero, we shall be looking at some of the issues and going behind behind the screen, and also looking at some of the things that led to even this agitation or this call for the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy to resign or to be sacked or to get off the scene. Whatever it is, there is a position taken by everybody listening to the program. We would like to hear your position in the course of the program. But before we get to that, we have guests that will be analyzing these issues with us in the studio. And like always, on Ground Zero, apart from the main topic, we'll also touch some other stuff. But the bottom line is getting you informed and putting you on a pedestal where you'll be able to make informed decision in respect of your position on issues as it regards our country, Nigeria. And I'm sure you know that you can be a part of the program by going to our various social media handles, starting from Facebook. The Facebook page of Invicta FM is Invicta FM Kaduna. Invicta FM Kaduna. Go there, you'll see the video stream of what is happening in the studio now, and add your voice to our conversation. Let's know what you feel and what your take is in respect of our discussion. You can also go to the Twitter handle of Invicta FM at Invicta FM 989, and for the program specific handle, you have Ground 0247 as the Twitter handle, where the conversation is always on before, during, and even after the program. I have two guests on the program today. I already have one seated, and the second guest will join us in the course of the program. I'm sure that you know that with the many road construction going on in town, so many people at times get stuck. That's exactly what's happened to one of our guests, but he's listening to us and will join us very soon on the program. The guest already seated with me in the studio is media consultant, and a gentleman that's no stranger to Ground Zero in the person of Zwahu Yanwedi. Zwahu, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much, Ahis. It's my pleasure.
All right. The other guest is a public affairs commentator and also an in-house person in the person of Edward John Auta. They'll both be looking at this issue from their various perspectives and letting us understand what all of these are. Now, they always say, like I said about a week plus ago, that there's no smoke without fire. Yes, and this was directly relating to the Pantani issue. That's Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantani. He is Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. About 2 weeks ago, or roughly 10 days ago, when the Daily Independent published a particular article claiming or alleging that the minister is on the United States of American terrorist watch list, there were so many complaints, so many people talking about these issues, but most importantly, the active party in all of this, the minister, coming out to claim that he has nothing to do with it, to say rather that he has nothing to do with it, and there was no such list anywhere, and that he is being maligned or slandered. And the Daily Independent had to come out, retract the story, apologize to him, and I understand that the legal process was initiated by the minister. Some few days down the line, other publications came out with their own version, digging beyond what was done by the Daily Independent and coming out with different angles, different videos that so many people never thought existed anywhere in the world. And that led to the demand by a section that the minister needs to do the honorable thing, that's resign and go. Whilst another section is saying that the president needs to do that which is right, which is sacking the minister. But what are we really talking about when we are talking about this? Okay, I'll just give you a little bit of some of the expose from these various media organizations. Okay, the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Ali Isa Ibrahim Pantani, is a man of many descriptions. To some, he is a bright-eyed, relentless, intelligent, and academically competent young Turk who has found his way into the topmost level of Nigeria's government at a relatively young age of 48. To others, he is a symbol of how deeply held and unapologetically public religious faith can coexist and interpret with modernity and cosmopolitanism without contradiction rather. Despite his impressive credentials and his reportedly genial personality, which have endeared him to many, however, several whispers and rumors about an alleged dark past have consistently swirled around him. At every point in his 5-year-old career as a public servant, from his 2016 appointment as the Director General and CEO at the National Information Development Agency, NITDA, through to his appointment as a cabinet minister in 2019, these rumors have refused to go. Now, the rumors which many people refer to as rumors were releases by Sahara Reporters and Premium Times and some other media organizations of videos and write-ups relating to his support for terrorist groups in the past, like the Al-Qaeda and also the Taliban. And so many statements he made about glorifying and edifying Osama bin Laden, which most part of the world believe was the most popular or one of the strongest terrorist sponsors and organizers in the world. Though in 2010, 10 years after, roughly about 10 years after he made those comments glorifying Osama bin Laden, he had also engaged the founder or the leader of the Boko Haram group in several debates where he had condemned terrorism and terrorist acts. Right after that, some people also dug out some things related to when he was in school and a crisis or two that he instigated from his preachings and condemnation of some persons that were alleged to have blasphemed the Holy Prophet. All of these are part of his dark past. But some few days ago, he had come out to renounce all of that, saying that he was very young, did not understand the religion to the as much as he does now, and that all of that were in his past. That now he knows better and will not take a position. Why he has not come out to also renounce the glorification and edification of Osama bin Laden, but he has said he has renounced his past. Now, the big question now is, with all of this that just happened, so many people are calling that, can someone that is taking this position be in the cabinet of a country like Nigeria? Will someone that has taken this kind of position in the past be able to represent Nigeria when it comes to fair representation in the Committee of Nations? If he is to represent Nigeria, he's not a minister that is just going to sit in Nigeria. He must travel out globally and all of that. Not forgetting too that with all of this happening, several organizations and individuals have written to the United States Embassy to submit all of this information. And when I heard about that, I laughed. Why? Because I know that even all of those informations were already in the hands of the FBI or the United States government before the various media organizations even came out with all of their expose. Now, the big question is this call for his resignation justifiable? Should the president come into this? Does the National Assembly have anything to do in respect of this? What really is happening? How can Nigeria be positioned to get the best out of those that have or either be elected or appointed, that the international community may not readily want to play ball with in respect of the position they've taken in the past or in the present? These are the areas that we'll be looking at on the program today. And I'll start with you, Zwaho, because you are the only one in the studio already. First of all, when all of this information came out about the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, did you believe that someone as educated or enlightened as him would have taken such position in the past? Let's say, because that's what they said, that was his position in the past.
Honestly, thank you very much. Honestly, at the beginning, I never knew about him, even when he was the DG of NITDA. I never knew about him. It was when his name was mentioned for ministerial appointment. And incidentally, around that time, I was in Gombe. So with a few of my friends, I said, is this person? And some of them, began to express fears about his position. I mean, some of them there felt that he is a bit on the extremist side, of the spectrum. Yeah. And I have not really paid attention to him, not quite, but to the best of what I have seen from his axis, I haven't seen him to have demonstrated any extremism in the discharge of his duties. He is a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria guarantees us the freedom of association, freedom of conscience, and all of that. So he had the right to belong to wherever he wanted to belong to. But yes, when some of these things started, trickling out, at first when the first publication published,
Daily Independent,
that he was on the U.S. watch list. It was quite shocking indeed. I didn't realize that his so-called extremism was that extreme to the point that he would be, said to be on the watch list of the U.S. But then when again I saw the accompanying video, it was a debate that he was engaged in with Mohammed Yusuf, the erstwhile executed leader of Boko Haram, yes. And then I looked for the videos and stuff like that. I got, in fact, the whole of the debate. I watched everything through, and I must say that he's a man of learning, immense learning in Islam. Well, to my little mind, little in the sense that I don't know Islam that much, but he really knew his onions and stuff like that. So the Daily Independent made a very, very serious flop there by putting it along with that video. Yeah. But then again, after that, many more things cropped up. In fact, that was when I realized that I actually had seen some of his videos far in the past, but I never realized that it was him. And nobody can exonerate him, for those positions that he held that time. Even though today he has come out to say that he has renounced those positions. Well, how true is that? And that's a question on the lips of many people. We have to talk bearing in mind the fact that Nigeria has become very, very combustible in terms of religion. Yeah. And we have become very, very tribalistic. When I say I mean tribalistic in the general sense, not that I am a Gorok man and you are an Edo man and whatever. No, but that if we belong to this group, anything that is not of that group is bad, or we're antagonistic to any such thing that is not. So that's what Nigeria has become. So different people have gone to their tribal cocoons. Okay? People who are, and for very good reasons. Okay? For very, very good reasons. Whether we like it or not, it is a fact that this country has not made us sufficiently relaxed about each other. Yeah. And the beliefs that we espouse, and even our ethnicity. We have not been relaxed. And lately, in fact, this situation has spiked. So people who are afraid, for whatever reason, they have very good reason to entertain fears that, look, this man had espoused these things until very recently when he came out publicly to say that he has renounced them. Okay. I wish that this whole situation had not happened before he would come out to recant his former, or to renounce his former position, which he claims that he was much young. I wish that, this is someone who every year, and even this year as we are talking, gives tafsir. Yeah. He gives tafsir. I have not yet seen any videos or preachings or heard any preachings of his where he has shifted ground. I'm not saying that he has not, but I have not seen before this furore. Yeah. Before this recent furore, I have not seen. So did he come out to make that renunciation as a result of the pressure that has been put on him, or indeed he has? So I have also my reservations, and I wish indeed that he has renounced, as indeed he came out to mention. So it's only time that will tell. But based on what I have seen, based on what I have read, and based on what I have observed, there is nothing that really makes me fear about him, especially in the discharge of his duties. That is the minister that said that we must align our, SIM card register, national identification number, and also our what's it called? This bank thing.
BVN
and stuff.
Unite or collapse into one identity.
Yes. So, in fact, that way he is also contributing to strengthening the security, system or security capabilities of the country. It's good. Okay. But ordinarily, I would be afraid that this person is in charge of such sensitive data. Okay. And he had espoused this kind of things. So it's a matter of time. We'll see where this goes. Maybe there is a lot more that we need to learn, and probably we are just scratching the surface. A lot may come out.
All right, you're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9. We'll quickly take these messages. After these messages, my next guest is already in the studio, and we'll get his position to some of these issues right here. Welcome back from the commercial timeout. The program is Ground Zero here on Invicta 98.9, and today we are looking at the present, would I say, crisis or call for the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy to resign over views it held many years, which he has recounted, but it's coming back again, and people are taking different positions. I already have with me in the studio Edward John Auta. He'll be giving us his position now. He is a public affairs analyst, a commentator, and of course, an in-house person. Edward, you had all of this crisis and all of these issues and different positions. What would be first your take and your position on all of these issues?
Yes, thank you for having me. Let me apologize for coming in late. Actually, something held me back. But as far as this issue is concerned, it is most unfortunate. It is most unfortunate that we are even still debating this issue, and the man is there chilling in his AC, in his office, and acting in that capacity of the Minister of Digital Economy. In more advanced climes, by now, he should have resigned his position and would have tendered his unreserved apology to Nigerians and Mr. President, for his conduct. Of course, people must be responsible for their actions and inactions in the past, whether in the past or in the present.
Yeah.
There is this popular saying that the evil that men do, live after them. So whatever you do, whether good or bad, it will either speak for you for good, or it will haunt and hound you later in life, or even long after you are gone. So for me, Pantami has no excuse. He has exhibited severally, based on the evidence that is available now, that he is a religious fundamentalist, he's a religious extremist. And to the extent that he once, as he will put it, held such, extremist and fundamentalist views about people, about such terrorist groups and organizations, I believe that it has disqualified him from holding any public office in a secular society like Nigeria.
Okay.
And this is not new. I support the groups that are calling for either his resignation or his removal from office. You recall, during the presidential election tribunal, Justice Bulkachua, who is married to a serving senator of the APC, issues were raised by the People's Democratic Party about her ability to be fair and just to all parties, because her husband he belonged to the other party, and these issues were looked into. Nobody feigned any ignorance, or nobody looked the other way. The court, the woman and all the other justices sat down, they look at these issues, they look at the merits of these things, and then at the end of the day, even though she said there was no basis and all of that, but she still recused herself from that panel. That is the honorable thing to do. When people are pointing accusing fingers at you, you are not the only person who can do this job, for God's sake. Recuse yourself and try to clean. If he had resigned from his position and he's now trying to explain to people and say, okay, I've matured, I've done this and that, maybe we'll take him seriously. But as far as I'm concerned, these are just what I would call the last kick of a dying horse to save his job.
Eddie, I love the way you use words. Okay, now we are here. And so far, the minister has come out to say those were positions he held over 20 years ago. He has also not resigned. And with the calls coming from different quarters now, and people looking and hoping that the president may want to step back, look at it in view of the positions held, and want to maybe ask him to step aside for proper investigations to be carried out, or ask him to step aside because those positions might not help Nigeria to be able to sit amongst other nations when it comes to discussing, because they would say that one of us had once held positions like this and they don't feel comfortable with it. Now, do you think, I shouldn't put that question that way. What do you think the president should do in respect of this particular case? Eddie?
The president should be giving the minister the marching orders. What he has done in the past is putting this country and the interests of this country on the brink. Nigeria is a nation of 200 million people, and we should not put people with questionable past in positions of authority, especially positions that can affect our position or our place in the Committee of Nations. Secondly, this issue brings to question the efficacy, the effectiveness, the efficiency of our security apparatus. I know in this country that you cannot appoint a minister without screening the person at the National Assembly. And part of the screening processes require that the Department of State Services should run a security check on individuals. So, are they saying, if there are rumors that the FBI have put this man on the watch list because of his past comments and actions, how much more our own Nigerian version of the FBI, the DSS, are they saying, if ordinary Nigerians, well, let me put it this way, if ordinary Nigerians have access to these inflammatory videos, to these fundamentalist statements in the past, ordinary Nigerians, they have these things, how much more about the DSS, which is the institution that is saddled with the responsibility of intelligence gathering and what have you? Could it be that they too are just hearing these things, are just seeing these things, or that no, they know these things and that they have sat on them? Does this bring up the question that there are actually sacred cows in this country, people who can do anything and then they can still get what they want and all of that? If the president does not sack him, is he saying that out of 200 or about 200 million people, Issa Pantami is the only person who can do this job? I believe President Muhammadu Buhari, the Megaskia, the upright man who rose to power on
integrity,
should demonstrate that now more than ever before by giving this man the marching orders to save the face of his administration first, and then to save the face of this nation, because we do not need people like that. Let me tell you what I was telling some people, even when these people, Daily Independent, published that apology and all of that. I said, for the fact, there is no smoke without fire. Yeah. For the fact that this man have been associated, whether in error or whatever, to religious extremism, that is enough for him to step aside. And then he can now seek recourse, to redress, rather. He cannot seek redress. He will resign, and then everybody will know that, yes, you know, and all of that. So for me, there is no debate here.
Yeah, well, that very last statement, to my mind, is a bit too idealistic. Is a bit too idealistic. Because we are in an environment. If people would continue to do that, look, here in Nigeria, we need, and I'm not saying that he should not resign or whatever. Yeah. Okay, but for me, okay, let me make that point first. This is a country where you need a lot of thick skin to survive. Okay? If at every aspersion cast, you know, or on any public officer, he resigns, whatever. Some people will just manufacture things, fantastic things, you know, because they know that you resign, and by the time there will be window for them to be able to do anything. Sometimes you need to stay and face people squarely and address issues the way they should be addressed. After all, it's an allegation. Okay? After all, it's an allegation. However, and he raised very, very good points. Okay? What did DSS do in his screening? What did DSS do in his screening? And then what did the Senate do? Because DSS will have to do background checks and everything. And definitely they must have seen all of these things. Yeah. Okay? And then what did the Senate do, you know, in screening this person? So the whole thing is our recruitment process in this country that is very, very problematic. Okay? Such that, as he has said, people with questionable pedigree.
Okay, yeah.
Questionable, well past character, pedigree, you know, are able to slip into whatever and find themselves in leadership positions in this country. Sensitive leadership positions in this country. I still, personally, I like, because I had a very nasty, some years back, I had a very, very nasty brush with someone I had never met online. And it taught me a very, very serious lesson, that sometimes you have to allow the information, or, I mean, gather as much information as possible to be able to make up your mind. Up till now, we're at the level of, still, let me use the word, furore. You know, they let everything simmer, and then we really, really go into this thing. The nitty-gritty of all of these things. However, I still say, like I said earlier, that I'm a bit reserved about his denouncing of his position in the past. I'm reserved because I have not seen any evidence that he had shifted ground until this whole thing started, before he came out, and then he's handling very, very serious. So it's difficult for me. It's tough for me, much as I want to give him room, you know, so that we have all the information in. Yeah. If there are videos in which he has recanted, you know, his positions, his statements concerning some of these extremists, but then again, we also have to look at the evolution of some of these things. Yeah. We also have to look at the evolution of some of these things. Okay? There are many people 10 years ago who were espousing some of these extremist ideas. And today, they have moved away from, because now the thing has come full moon.
Reality.
The stark reality. And they say, no, this is not what we thought. Yeah. But this is not what, no, I'm not saying, I'm just making room. I'm trying to keep my mind open. Okay.
But we should not also forget that he made these statements between 2001 and 2003. But in 2010, he also engaged the terrorists we know in Nigeria, which is the Boko Haram, and told them clearly that no, their position is not the right position.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because I watched the video. It was like a position of saying, okay, Boko Haram, as in, you know,
but Western education
is haram. Yeah, Haram, I watched it, and he said, look, where what's his name, Yusuf Muhammad. he said they should not study geography, they should not study biology and whatever, and he engaged him on some of these issues. Say, if you say we shouldn't study the sciences, how can you study medicine without studying biology and these things? You see, so in fact, even study them for the sake of understanding what the other person is saying. Those are some of his positions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It did not in any way portray him or represent any information that he has renounced his position. Yeah, because if you watch those videos, so I mean you listen to those messages, you will see clearly that probably he is someone who has bias, probably against the United States or the Western world.
Okay.
And he saw Osama bin Laden as someone, or the Taliban as people who were actually
fighting what he does not like.
Yeah. You know, as such. But then, rumors are rumors. Until these issues came out, and then we were beginning to hear certain things. There are allegations that even in Bauchi, where he came from, I mean, he is from Gombe, but in Bauchi, where he schooled and all of that, there are allegations. So all these things point to one direction, that right from probably his youth days, he has had extremist tendencies.
Okay.
He has had extremist tendencies. And that is why we are saying, you know, fundamentalism is a very, very serious thing. You know, it has to do with one's ideology. It has to do with one's orientation from what he learned and all of that. It's built over time. In that somebody can just come and say, you just learned it today and tomorrow you are living it.
But also,
so for me, because anybody who was once a fundamentalist or holds fundamentalist and extremist views, it's not somebody that you can trust, that the same circumstances
will not affect his judgment in running the nation.
All right. So this is just what we are saying.
All right. Let's quickly take some of these messages. After these messages, we'll talk a bit, open the phone lines, and get your positions to all of this. Remember, you can also add your voice to the conversation by going to the Invicta FM Facebook page at Invicta FM Kaduna. The video is running. You can also drop your comments. Let's get your position to all of them. All right, welcome back from that commercial timeout. We do not have much time. We'll quickly just do some more talk, then we open up the phone lines. Now, before we took that, went on that commercial break, Eddie, you were saying.
Yes, like I was saying, I said, look, this man over time has had extremist tendencies. He has demonstrated that critically. If you recall, I think some 2 years or so ago, there was a spat between the same minister and the DG of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri.
Yeah.
If you recall that time, there was a debate because the woman accused him of gender and religious extremism in the manner in which he treated her, and he, according to her, in the manner that he directed gunmen to chase them out.
Is it gunmen or security agents?
Well, that is the report that I read. Gunmen, that he directed gunmen to chase them out of the NCC premises. That was the report that was flying at that time. And, you know, a lot of people rose in his defense and all of that. But now, with what is happening now, can those people come out publicly, boldly, and say that this woman is wrong after all? Because nobody was there when she was conversing with him. Nobody would know the words, the language, the manner in which he engaged her. And then coupled with the fact that if it is true that he actually ordered gunmen to chase her out of that place, whether they are security personnel or not, you know, it points to somewhere.
Okay.
You know, that...
Let's quickly take some calls. The phone line has been paused. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr.
Fine, thank you.
I greet you again, sir. My name is Musa Bala.
All right, Musa Bala, you are welcome to the program.
I think Patami Province started when he told the Americans that the war they have taken to Iraq on the ground of weapon of mass destruction was unfair. Even after the war, the Prime Minister of British, Tony Blair, have apologized for the killing of thousands of people under false information. But still later, Pantami realized that whatever reason was aligning with terrorist group and just apologized. 10 years later, there is not any person in Nigeria that fought the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria like it. In fact, his latest problem started when he issued this registration with our name number. Then the terrorist group now said that his blood is now on their hands. But let me ask Auta, please answer this question. If you insist that he must resign based on the fact of what he has said about Al-Qaeda outside Nigeria, even though he apologized, what was your stand? For example, since it is religious extremism, we have to be very fair. Nigeria belongs to us. What was your stand when a Nigerian president hosted chairman of or the president of Khan Association of Nigeria in the presidential palace? Yet that president admitted that when his private jet was arrested in South Africa with illegal money, the president said that he agreed, he was aware of that money. And at the same time, during Jonathan, if you can remember, most national policies were either said on Sunday or in any church services. Did you call for the resignation of Mr. Jonathan then? Because Nigeria was a popular middle class state based on all these examples I gave you. May God continue to bless Nigeria with good leaders, no matter their tribe and religion. And may God continue to distance us from bad leaders, corrupt leaders, no matter their religion or tribe and their agents.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. We can't hear you. Let's take this other call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening.
Good evening. You are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, Adepegba is my name.
All right, Adepegba, let's have your take.
In fact, on security matter in Nigeria, all our security chiefs, they should be ashamed. The Americans came right from their country to arrest only one person. And the system they use is technology. What is delaying them to buy the correct equipment for our soldiers? And they are killing them like rats. It's unfortunate.
Adebegba, I want you to react to the Isa Pantami issue that we are talking about.
Vehicle now. Nigeria is like an abandoned vehicle now.
Adebegba, please would appreciate if you react to the Pantami issue. Hello, good evening.
The Pantami issue, only in Nigeria. In other times, people accused in that area, and that's something of such. We're supposed to resign.
All right, thank you. Let's take some other calls. 081 40,000 989. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. Hello. Hello, good evening. The calls are... Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Pius. I'm calling from Malali, Kaduna.
All right, Pius, quickly in 30 seconds. Let's have your take.
This issue of Ali Pantami, I'm telling you, I learned something. Everybody must be very careful with his own authorities on radio or wherever you find yourself. If we should continue with this issue of Ali Pantami, I'm telling you, Mr. Hayes, many people in this country, more especially our politicians, they just have to resign. From up to down, I do not exclude anybody because we have watched their past authorities, we have seen what they have said. So please, everybody must want his own authorities. Most of them are guilty of just being religious extremists. So that is that. So people must watch their own authorities.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much. Let's come back to the studio and take our parting shots. You react to Musa Bala's direct question to you, and give us your parting shots.
Yes, first and foremost, let me correct him. Tony Blair did not apologize. for joining the US in that military action against Saddam Hussein. He said he still believed it was the right decision. But he only said he regretted the failures in the planning and successful completion of that war. He did not render any apology for joining it, but for the humanitarian crisis that followed. That is that. Secondly, I am not aware of the issues he raised about the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, that government policies were announced in churches.
That's strange, yeah?
This is strange. This is completely new. And I think it is a tactic to divert the attentions of Nigerians from this burning issue that is staring at us in the face now. The truth of the matter is that in a serious society, those who have held or who hold, just as Abike Dabiri has alleged, gender and religious
extremist
positions or biases, are not fit to hold public office in secular societies. He can go back to Saudi Arabia. If you ask me, I learned he had a job there. He can go back there based on his views or any other, theocratic society. I think he will be better fitted, better suited to hold positions there. But to keep him in Nigeria, and more so in a ministry with the kind of sensitive information, I think one day, I don't know what will happen.
Zwahu, what will be your parting shot?
Yeah, at a time, Pantami said that he would never take public office, okay? Because the moment he takes such office, being the sheikh that he is, it will whittle down his moral voice. He won't be able to speak truth to power. Well, true. He has ended up, I don't know whether he said that because it was a Jonathan that was in government or whatever, but then he has taken public office, okay? Is that a sign that he has shifted ground from his former positions? It may be.
Or could it be that it is because it is somebody of the same religion with him that is in power?
I don't know. But what he said is taken from, holding government position. This is government position. It does not matter. Is it a sign that he probably has shifted from his, hitherto held, position? Well, it may be. Okay. And again, he has come out and renounced or he recanted those. He has only said it. And like I said, I'm not sufficiently satisfied because it had to take this uproar for him to come out and renounce his previous positions. We'll need to see more. But for a government that needs to bring people together, a huge swath of the Nigerian population is not comfortable with Pantami being there. And we need confidence. We need confidence. People need to perceive the government well. Therefore, the government should sit down and consider whether he's continued holding that position is in the best interest. Is in the best interest of the government and the people of Nigeria.
That's about the size. We have some messages. If you go to the Invicta FM Facebook page, some messages are there. Some I can't read on radio. Some I am going to even delete some because they are straight insult. And like we always say, we do not create platform for people to insult, whether our callers, our guests, or contributors. So for those messages that I've deleted too, you can't see them. Well, we appreciate you all. Josh Guafam, we thank you. Mohammed Sani, we thank you. And some other persons. Well, it's about the size of the program because we are actually out of time. Edward John Auta, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Zwahu Yanwedi, thank you so much. I am Ehis Adon. On Saturday, we'll be on for another package of the program Ground Zero. Between now and then, before you claim right of way, make sure you are safe and not sorry. Plant a tree today, water it, and watch it grow.